The question is, can you share a story that illustrates Amber's culture? And the story that comes to mind that is most interesting to this topic is the story of how we established a creative product development organization at Amber. You know, when we founded Amber back in 2013, I was talking to Drago Shunku, and we kind of imagined this elite group of engineers that would grow up to like 50 people, and to us that seemed like a great number, offering services in software outsourcing system that was not very common in the industry at the time. And so we were building this organization. We were hiring very talented engineers, and we started amassing quite a volume. We were like 10, 15 people at a time. And we found out very soon that our partners were asking us to do more than just coding. They were asking us to test the games that we were making. So we started the QA team. And then they were asking us to design some of the levels that we were coding. And of course, we added designers and then to add some art assets to the games that we were making. And before long, we were looking at our organization. It represented all the core disciplines that you'd find in the creative studios. And that gave us the idea of assembling our first studio, which was Avalon. Avalon was a mobile casual studio. I remember our first attempts at developing a game were like utter comical failures, if you will. But what drove us always was our passion for games. We thought that, it was the truest expression of ourselves to create an organization that has the ability to make novel and interesting and exciting experiences for the players. So it felt very much aligned with our vision. And some other founders, maybe they've taken a different path to getting there, such as soliciting, venture funding and assembling a team for the express purpose of building games. But we didn't know how to raise money at the time. All we knew is how to manage talented teams of people that wanted to make games. So we chose the path of building a service organization to sustain a creative organization. So we built an extensive array of game development disciplines that we're offering as a service to publishers in the industry. And we were using the profits that we were generating to seed the creative organization. As I mentioned, the first studio was Avalon. Then we added another game development team called Lorraine, which was specializing in mobile free-to-play games. And then further down the road, years after, we established Play with Fire, which is a PC console studio. All these first three studios were organically built with a lot of trial and failure. And in time, as our company grew, we decided to be more ambitious and merge with other talented studios that we didn't build ourselves. And that's the genesis of Cara Oculta, our studio in Mexico, or more recently, the addition of Madbricks, the studio in Colombia. When I think of the story of how we established our creative organization, which is far-flung currently, 5 different studios, across many different locations, very distributed. The core of some of these studios like Lorraine and Avalon is in Romania, but Play with Fire is a multi-country organization that includes Ukraine and leadership in Montreal. Cara Oculta is a hybrid of Montreal and Guadalajara. And then, of course, we have the studio in Bogota. Something that we consider fundamental to how we've run the company over these years is this value of humanism, like putting people first. We're trying to protect these studios and invest in them for the long haul and give them the best opportunity to succeed, creating an outlet for expression in terms of game making, like allowing them the freedom to innovate and create new games and work on original IP, not just on work for hire projects or on paid projects. So all of these factors together are an expression of our culture, and we're fundamental in assembling this array of creative studios, what we call the network of studios at Amber.